Hey guys, Assalamualaikum. It's Mimi. Today I'm going to be talking about balancing school and marriage because a lot of people have requested this from me and have often asked me how I balance school and marriage. For those of you who don't know, I was 17 when I got married. I had just turned 17 and I was in my junior year. Junior? Yeah, junior year. And I'm in my senior year right now, and I have like 7 weeks left of school. And I am fighting for it, guys. Um, I'm gonna I'm gonna be straight up with you guys. Um, Balancing school and a marriage is not easy. Uh, Balancing any number of things at one time is never easy. But I'd say balancing marriage and school is particularly difficult. Um, and I'm sure it would be a lot harder if it were marriage, school, and a child. So, mashallah, I haven't been tested with that yet. When it comes to balancing school and a marriage, you have to realize that everything has to have its time. Like, if you're doing schoolwork, you have to be concentrated on that schoolwork. Like, you can't let every little thing distract you. You may be in a new relationship, you've never been with a guy, and all you want to do is spend time with him because he's like, you've been waiting for this, and you have a partner, and that's all fine and dandy, but you have to realize that you also have to think about your future and your education, and you have to stay driven in that aspect. I can't tell you how many times I have kind of fallen off of my path because I was so caught up in the newly married phase, and all I wanted to do is spend time with him, and I was just like, ugh, why do I have all this work? I don't want to deal with that. I just want to be with him, you know. And I had to snap out of that real quick because really there was no time for that. I had to learn how to balance being married and spending time with my husband, and also doing my schoolwork, keeping my grades up, and keeping my GPA all nice and wonderful. When it comes to both of those things, you have to know that when it's time for work, it's time for work. When it's time for play, it's time for play. And also, if you have a lot of responsibilities as a wife, and you have to learn how to when to fit those responsibilities in, and certain duties. For me, I am the wife that cooks for my husband, and luckily the only thing I really have to do is make his lunches for work. So I have to get up and make sure I have enough time to cook for him, put his food away, all that stuff, so he can have his lunch when he goes to work. One thing I have to do sometimes I have to cook the night before. Sometimes I cook right before his work week starts, and then he'll have food for multiple days, and I'll let him know, he's very flexible, and he understands that I'm trying to get through school. So, I'll be like, look, you're gonna have this for this many days and blah blah blah, like, because I have to cook sometimes, like, all at once. It can't be like me cooking every day because I don't know, I might have exams one week or whatever. It definitely helps to have a very um, encouraging spouse who wants you to do well and who appreciates you educating yourself. um, my husband particularly, he's very encouraging and supporting, and when he sees me wanting to diddle daddle and play and not do what I need to do, he's like, okay, Jamila, you've watched this movie with me, you need to get back to your essays, don't forget your work, and blah blah blah. And sometimes it's the other way around. Sometimes he wants attention and I'm doing my work and he's understanding, but I know that he wants that attention, so I have to figure out how to get my work done, like, during those little spaces that I'm allotted between when he wants to spend time and when I have deadlines and things like that. So you really have to be aware of your time and manage your time well. I like to schedule my day if I can through subjects and other things that I have to do. Um, I'll give specific time to certain assignments if I can and try to stick with those specific times. Uh, but it definitely helps to have someone who's always encouraging you to keep going. And I'm such a procrastinator that it's so helpful for him to be like, okay, you've done enough playing around, time to get to work and stuff. So that's definitely helpful. Being in high school, I think particularly, and being married is probably, I don't know yet, but it's probably a lot different from being in college and being married, because high school, you're still mad young and there's just so much going on, you know. He's already well out of, you know, high school, so he's been there, done that, you know, but I'm still getting through this, so that can be very hard, especially when I want to spend my time the way I want to spend my time and I can't because I have work. It can be aggravating, very aggravating. And it's also hard when we have certain things we have to do as a couple, and I have to take this time out of my work and then I end up backed up on my work. So it's all about time management and, you know, realizing that you can't have fun all the time and you can't always be enjoying him. You want to spend time with him all the time and be up against him and all that stuff, but sometimes you just have to put all that, you know, to the side for a minute and get down to business. It definitely helps to have schedules. It helps to have timers for, you know, your work. Um, it helps to stick to an agenda of things you want to get done and completing goals, you know, sticking to goals. And it also helps to stay motivated and to have someone to motivate you. Also, don't forget that you have a great opportunity to get as much work done as possible while he's at work. Like, use that time wisely. Get everything you need to get done before he gets home. You have to use your time wisely. And also, if he goes to school, like if y'all go to school at different times, he might go to school at night, you might go to school in the daytime, you know, use some of that time while he's at school to just do what you can and get as much done as possible, so that you will have that little bit of time to spend time together and do what you want to do. I feel like, you know, doing what you want to do, having that specific time is kind of a reward after you've worked hard. So you have to think of it like a reward system. If I do X, Y, and Z and I get it done in this time, then I'll have 2 hours to watch TV shows together, or read Quran together, or study together, or just cuddle. Shoot. Just cuddle for 2 hours. Yes, I do that. Just figure out what works for you and how, make a schedule that complements how you work. It's still very hard for me and I still have trouble with it, and I just realized, you know, there's not really a way to make it easy. It's hard, especially when you're learning how to be married and balance other things at the same time. So I don't really have much advice to make it easier, and I'm gonna pray for you guys who are in my same situation because it's not easy. I hope this kind of gives you an idea of what I go through, and I didn't want to make this video too long because I noticed I make some really long videos. Thank you guys for watching. I hope this gave you a little insight. Stay awesome. Assalamu alaikum. Peace out.